Hi guys, how are all of you? I hope you're well. So today I want to talk about, I think, one of my most favorite items of makeup and cosmetics in general, and that is foundations. I am a foundation addict. Every time I go to a beauty store or Sephora and I check out the different cosmetics brand, I always go and look for foundations, if there's anything new, if there's anything I like. I wish I could own every foundation in the world. I don't know why. It's not that I don't have foundations. I mean, I have a ton of foundations, and in this video you will see how many I have. But maybe because I always have the feeling that outside there's more, you know, there's something better, there's something that will make my skin look flawless and all that jazz. Anyway, like for instance, I would absolutely love to try the Benefit's Hello Flawless new foundation. As soon as I go to a Benefit counter, I will absolutely buy that because I love it. I would also like to try the new YSL Touche Éclat foundation. It's just like, you know, an addiction. I love foundations. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to talk about, obviously, foundations, and I decided to split them in three groups, in three categories. First group are foundations that have a very sheer coverage. Second group, medium coverage. Third group, medium to full coverage. And yeah, let's get started. I use all of them in different occasions and in different times of the year. Right, so I am a person, if you've followed me for quite some time, you know that I'm a person that loves foundation that have pretty good coverage. I don't have perfect skin. I've suffered from acne throughout all my lovely teenage years and also throughout the first years of university. So I've had a lot of scarring, and my skin texture is very uneven. My skin tone is very uneven. So I really go for foundations that just cover everything, and it also helps out my confidence. But there are some times of the year in which I feel that foundations with a lot of coverage just don't look natural, and this mainly in the summertime. Maybe because in the summertime, there's more skin exposed. We are wearing, you know, short sleeves and tank tops. So I feel that when I wear a foundation that has a medium to full coverage, you could really see the difference between your face and the rest of your body. No matter how much I blend, no matter if I'm wearing the foundation with the best match with my skin, you can always tell the difference. So in the summertime, when it's very hot, I always go to foundations with a very light texture. I know they're not the best for my skin, but I feel that they are more natural, and that when a person looks at me, the first thing that person thinks is not, oh my god, she spent like 3 hours putting on her makeup. You know what I mean? Especially when I go to work, I don't want my colleagues to think, oh my god, what time did she wake up? Like 3 o'clock in the morning to do her makeup? Because that's not the case. But when I put, heavy foundation in the summer, I feel that it's very unnatural. So in the summer, I am most drawn towards light foundations, sheer coverage foundations. And the first foundation I want to talk to you about is MAC Face and Body. Like all these foundations I'm going to talk to you about, I picked this foundation out of curiosity. I love the packaging. It's pretty squeezy, and so it's very travel friendly. This foundation, I know it's called a foundation, but seriously guys, this product doesn't really have many elements of a foundation because it has no coverage whatsoever. Seriously, we can compare this like to a BB cream, more or less. So yeah, I like this foundation because it's very watery. When I apply this foundation, I really need to do a lot of concealing work because, as I said, this product covers 0 to nothing. So, but nevertheless, it works very nicely in the summertime. And because this product is so light in coverage, I really like to combine this with my Laura Mercier Mineral Foundation. These two work great together. This is a mineral foundation, which in theory you're supposed to use by itself, but I use this as a setting powder on top of this foundation, and this adds a bit more coverage, so it helps. And these two together are perfect. And in terms of brushes, I like to use this brush by Sephora for my MAC Face and Body Foundation. This is the Sephora number 55 buffing brush. And this is a Laura Mercier brush that I bought when I bought the mineral foundation. And it is called Simply Blending. It's a short-handled brush. Another foundation that I decided to include in the light sheer groups of foundation is this one over here by Giorgio Armani, Lasting Silk Foundation. I really had a bad impact with this foundation. In fact, on my blog, I wrote kind of a negative review on this product, but I think I'm gonna have to put that down because throughout the years I've learned how to use this foundation. Basically, when I bought this foundation by Giorgio Armani, I had high expectations. So when I first applied this foundation, I was shocked because the coverage was very, very minimal. I was hoping that this product would have, I'm not saying full coverage, but at least medium coverage. Well, that's not the case. This foundation has, I'm not saying it has sheer coverage, but light coverage. So it does cover what it has to cover, but you need to do concealing work after you apply this. And besides the coverage aspect, another thing that I didn't like about this foundation was the finish. It's not a glowy finish, it's not a matte finish, but after applying this and I would look myself in the mirror, I felt that my face looked grey. It looked very dull, you know, without light, without dimension, very flat, and I didn't like that at all. So for a while I just put it aside and didn't use it, but then since this foundation was really expensive, I thought, no, there must be a way to make this product work. So what I did was I decided to combine this with primers. As much as I like primers, I don't really include them in my everyday makeup routine. I'm just lazy. I don't think they really make that much of a difference for me. But when it comes to this product, I absolutely need to combine this with a primer. And in particular, a primer that's very glowy and very luminous. And I don't have it here right now, but I usually pair this with the Clarins Beauty Balm. That is a product that I absolutely love. After applying that, my face is so luminous, more shiny than a disco ball, really. And then I put this on top of that, and the two combine themselves perfectly, and I finally get a very luminous and fresh face when I apply this on top of the Clarins Beauty Balm, which is great. Now we can move on to the foundations that I consider have a medium coverage. And honestly, whatever I say about these foundations is very personal. When I say medium coverage, full coverage, sheer coverage, it's the coverage that I feel these foundations have for myself. So for myself, I have 3 foundations that I think belong to the medium coverage group of foundations. And the first foundation I just have to mention is the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua. Now, this foundation has received a lot of hype. It's very popular in the beauty community, and in my opinion, it deserves all the fame, all the glory, all the hype that surrounds this product because it is really, really amazing. This foundation is actually, Chanel actually calls it a skin perfector, and that is what it actually is. It has a very liquidy texture, not as liquid as the MAC Face and Body, but still the texture is very, very light, it's very, very fluid. And when you apply this on your skin and you look yourself in the mirror, you basically see your skin but better, you know what I mean? Not completely covered like it would be with a full coverage foundation, but just the better version of your skin. And that's great because that's natural and it blends in very, very beautifully with your skin color, so there's no contrast between your face and your neck and any other parts of your body. So I love it. It combines all the great aspects that we love about foundations. So, you know, there's coverage, there's natural finish, it blends nicely into your skin. So among all the products that I'm gonna mention in this video, if you haven't tried any of these foundations and you just want to pick one that you just want to try, go for the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua. Then another foundation that has a medium coverage is the Naked Foundation by Urban Decay. This is a foundation that has received a lot of love from me in the past few months because I bought this end of last year, I think in autumn, and I love this so much. I'm halfway through and I love it. I love the packaging. It's a very sleek glass bottle. It has a pump, and since I love this foundation so much, after a while I decided to buy the foundation brush that came out, that Urban Decay released with this product, and it is their optical blurring brush. Yeah, it's really not that great. I mean, it's not a huge revolutionary brush, but these two products really work well together. This is a very easy foundation. I mean, there's not really much I can say about it. In those mornings when I'm just so sleepy and I have to get out of the house and, you know, go to work and I don't have much time to apply foundation, this is a product I always reach for because it just looks good. I just slap it on and I don't need to apply setting powders or whatnot. Even if I don't want to apply blush or bronzer, I feel very confident with just this alone. And last product in the medium coverage foundation group is the Wake Me Up foundation by Rimmel. Now this was the huge foundation discovery I made last summer. It is unfortunately the only drugstore foundation I'm going to mention in this video, and I do apologize for that, but it's not that I don't like drugstore products, it's just that I find it very difficult to buy foundations in the drugstore because they don't have testers, and if they have testers, they're all like mixed and in confusion with the real product. It's just so difficult to pick. In fact, when I bought this product, I think when I went in the store, they had just rearranged and set out, you know, the new items, and all the testers were brand new. So, you know, it was very easy, and I was so enthusiastic about the possibility of buying a drugstore foundation. So I absolutely grabbed it and I loved it. I wore this product many times last summer and then throughout the whole autumn and also winter. I absolutely love this foundation. It can be compared to the drugstore version of the Nausicaa Glow because it gives you a very luminous and bright and glowy face, which is the kind of texture that I love. And usually with all these foundations that I mentioned, so the Chanel Vita Lumiere and also this one by Rimmel and the Urban Decay Naked, I like to use flat top kabuki brushes. Like this one by Sigma, which is the number F80, the infamous F80. And this is, among all the foundation brushes out there, I think this is the best one. I'm not saying this one by Sigma in particular, just in general, flat top kabuki brushes work best with foundations because they really buff the product in your skin. And since these three foundations that I mentioned have a pretty medium coverage, I like to pair them with this setting powder by MAC, which is the MAC Sheer Press Powder in NW30, because NW30 is my MAC color, and it does add a slight coverage, but really not that much at all. And I like to use this brush by Real Techniques, which is their blush brush, and I absolutely like it because it's tapered and it works very well as a setting powder brush. Then we have finally arrived to the last group of foundations, which are the medium to full coverage foundations. And among all of the foundations I mentioned, these have a very special place in my heart because when I have a special occasion or those days in which I need my foundation to look good on my skin for hours and hours and hours, these are the foundations that I just grab and don't have to think about. First one, and I know all of you will be like, oh, boring enough, you've mentioned these foundations like in every single video. It is the NARS Sheer Glow. This is my favorite foundation. I absolutely love it. I love the finish. It's very dewy, it's very glowy, gives my face so much light, and I just love that. The coverage is excellent. With these foundations that I'm going to mention in this group, I do not have to do any extra concealing work. I mean, besides under eye concealing, I don't need to go back and cover spots and scars, whatnot. I mean, I could if I really wanted a picture perfect, flawless face, but I just don't, because I just like the result that I get after applying these products. So, NARS Sheer Glow. Then we have the Chanel Perfection Lumiere foundation. This is a relatively new foundation in the Chanel Cosmetics brand. I love this foundation. I mean, it is very long lasting. The finish is a satin finish, so it's not hyper glowy, hyper dewy, but nevertheless it's not matte, because even though I have oily skin, I don't like the matte finish on my skin. I feel it looks dull. But yeah, so satin finish is a good compromise between the two. And this foundation has a lot in common with another foundation that belongs to this group, which is by Lancome, and it is their Teint Idole Ultra 24 Hours. These two products are very similar, both in texture, because they both have a very satin finish, excellent coverage, excellent staying power. I mean, this one claims to stay on for 24 hours, and I totally believe it, because I wore this foundation for weddings or on those days in which I know that my foundation has to look good from 6 a.m. to like 11 p.m. This foundation does not budge, same like this one. These two are both long-lasting foundations, and even packaging wise they are very similar, because they are both in glass bottles, so I really wouldn't recommend them for traveling purpose, even though I did travel with this one and didn't break. But yeah, glass bottles, they both come in pumps, and excellent coverage. I mean, that's all that matters for me, is the coverage. I mean, after I apply these two and I look myself in the mirror, I just feel good, because it covers everything it has to cover, and I don't need to do any more work on my face. And because these foundations are very strong in coverage, to set them, I use this powder by Rimmel, which is their Stay Matte press powder, with this brush by Royal and Langnickel. I absolutely love the pink. Anyway, I always use this press powder with these last foundations that I mentioned, because it doesn't add any color, despite the fact that it's in 005 Silky Beige. I can assure you that the Stay Matte press powders by Rimmel are so finely milled that the coverage is just 0 to nothing. I mean, it doesn't add any more coverage, but it does mattify your T-zone and just set everything in place. So I feel that this product will really work well with stronger foundations. So yeah, girls, I hope you enjoyed this mini review I did of some of the foundations I own. I was gonna say all the foundations I own, but I own more. I have some Illamasqua, I have some Clinique, but these products that I mentioned are the products that I just, throughout the years, I've known to work best with these foundations. When I look at them, I know exactly the result that I'm gonna have on my face. So I was very sure of the information that I could give you. Let me know if there's other info you need, if there are other foundations that you would recommend. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback on my latest video, What's in My Bag. All of you are just so sweet and kind. I deeply appreciate it. And yeah, you guys suggested I did a What's in My Makeup Bag, which I will do. Thank you so much for requesting that. And yeah, that's all. Kisses and hugs from me, and I will see you next time. Bye.